Welcome to Film Study, an all-American podcast with Lexi. I'm Lexi, and today I have Saroyah on the podcast, and we're talking all-American episode 15, C.R.E.A.M, or Crash Rules Everything Around Me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all of those things, and yeah. All right, so getting into it, what are your thoughts on C.R.E.A.M overall, or C.R.E.A.M? I don't know what we're supposed to call this thing.
So, first of all, dope title, by the way. The abbreviation.
Facts.
That is a cool title. But yeah, it was a good episode. I mean, not gonna lie, I was bored, or I felt nothing throughout the first 10 minutes. But we digress.
No, that's funny.
No, because I'm gonna be honest. Even when Olivia was awkward during the bench scene, I felt nothing. Because I knew the tension was coming. Wait. Because my moods on Twitter, they know me as a pro Olivia kin. They know I love Olivia to the core.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's just something about Olivia just giving jealousy vibes over Davida.
Bro, you're starting off the podcast strong, sis. That is the boldest I have ever heard anyone with their first go at the podcast. You're just like, Olivia was giving nothing. Wow.
No, look, hear me out. I love Olivia. Their scene was cute with the little snack thing, but it was just weird to see tension already.
Yeah, it was giving awkward.
Like,
it was giving awkward.
Yeah, it was very awkward. I was like, is this the wrong episode?
Not the wrong episode. But you said, like, so it went better for you as the episode went on.
Yes. As soon as the article thing came in, it just
picked up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that I agree. I think that, I don't know, I'm weird. I always like when writers do different things, so I like them having Jamie be an outside observer, and so I like when the writers get to be basically poke fun at themselves and be the voice of the audience, and so that's what I thought half of the episode was dedicated to. Also, I'm a football fan, so seeing college football and, like, actually, again, like, Spencer naming plays, us actually seeing more of the game was really fun for me. And both Spencer and Jordan did well, so I was excited. But it was, again, it did feel like a little bit of it felt like a transition episode, very much so, that it wasn't, new things weren't revealed. But getting into that, I feel like they actually did something interesting, and even though they had, like, the different storylines, I almost feel like it was split into two parts, but, like, everything connected back to basically the NIL storyline and the Condors football team. So yeah, it all connected to the NIL storyline and the football team. But in the sort of the first half of the storylines, I feel like there was Asher and Jamie and Patience and Layla, and then this whole thing with Coop and Grandma Marita, who Kaya and I call her Grandma Marita, and that was all, like, on one half of the show, and then the other half of the show was, like, Olivia's article, obviously Spencer getting more interested in the NIL, and then him wanting to make a good impression, and everything that happened with Jordan and the football team and the rest of the football team.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and so starting off with Asher and Jamie. Asher and Jamie are going strong. Now it's going to be really quick. Asher and Jamie are going strong. He's over here making pancakes, which I'm like, how did we not get Spencer making pancakes or something for Olivia? I know he baked the cake a while ago, but, like, how did we not get Spencer cooking for Olivia before we got Asher making something for Jamie. That just really, I was like, interesting.
No, really, I agree because I could have got Spencer singing over Asher.
I'm dead. Right. Oh yeah, and it's his little song. Yeah, it was just interesting for me, but I do like Jamie, and so it was interesting to see them together. And basically, this whole thing was that he was going to meet, or she was going to meet his friends. At the same time, before she met his friends, there's still awkwardness going on with Patience and Layla. Layla trying to get Patience to pick out a title for her album, which is the last thing that Patience needs to do. Layla's being pretty pushy about it, and Patience is like, you know what? I just need time. I just need to chill. And chill she did. Chill she did for the majority of the episode. And so there was still some awkward tension there. And then at the same time, Coop's getting more invested in her friendship with Marita, and meets Marita's granddaughter, who she immediately assumes is like stealing things and is a bad person. Because it's Coop.
She is. I
We
actually
can't
believe
literally.
Coop, though. Look. As much as I hate Coop, I believe her.
That she's a bad
I
person?
do. I believe
Oh
her.
my gosh, no. See, I'm on the other side of that. I'm
Nah,
like, we can't have 2 good weeks of Coop. Like last week she was good, and now
too good.
she's already like trying to cause drama, or like trying to do the most. The most.
So you just want Coop to be the villain throughout this entire season? Just bad episodes of Coop throughout.
Well, literally,
No
I
good
gave
come out of
her.
Coop.
I gave her props in the last episode, and I was just like, hopefully, she just continues on this trajectory. And then here she comes with being obsessed with as they're at. So we can move on. Like as they're at Slausen's Cafe watching the game together. She's just obsessed with this idea that Sky is bad. Yeah, scrolling. I know she was looking at the pics
her
too in lingerie.
I'm like, wait, Coop. And Coop, what? What is this?
While Patience is right next to her.
Patience right there.
Right. Patience is right next to her.
Patience really had no reaction though.
Right. But like, I don't know. Jamie felt weird about it because she's the one that made the made the comment. Right.
I feel bad for her.
Yeah, it was really interesting. And the whole thing was just like, Coop was super invested in this idea that Sky stole from Marita, which she ended up not stealing from her. Patience and Layla is still very awkward. No, she.
Because I literally tweeted that Sky is lying.
No, she wasn't lying. This is what happened. Sky took the earrings to make it into a necklace for Marita because she can't wear the earrings anymore. She literally gave her the necklace in the scene that were formerly the earrings.
I just have trust issues with new characters.
Clearly.
Because no, you mean to tell me that after everything this is about Davida and Liv, y'all just gonna invite each other to the beach house? Y'all gonna be best friends?
We're not there yet. We'll get to that though. But to your point, this is why the writers, and this is what I did enjoy about the episode, is like this is why the writers had Jamie sort of be this new character so that they could basically provide this commentary to us without like having one of the actual characters that have been on the show for a long time. And so Jamie calling it a vortex was very much poking fun, because we see that Jamie quickly finds out because of, was it because of Coop or was it because of Asher? I don't remember, but it one of them, right, made Coop. A comment. It was Coop. Exactly. Coop. That Layla and Asher were exes, and then immediately after that, Olivia and Asher were exes. And Jamie had already sort of put her foot in the mouth with the whole Sky Coop thing, and needed to be explained what was happening, why the girls were living together, why the guys were living together, who Billy was, their coach and their coach and their landlord and friend and dad, like all of these things.
The
And so
landlord.
he is the landlord. It's his house. That's what she said.
Please, Laura is more of a landlord than Billy himself. He chilling in
Look,
Crenshaw with GW,
look,
taking away his cigars.
look. I agree, but I'm just saying what Jamie was saying, the character.
I didn't really understand what vortex meant. I was just like, what? What are we doing, All American Vortex? I was just confused.
Yeah, I think it's just that they
Vortex?
stay very contained within each other, which is something that the characters needed to realize. And again, I think it was the writer's way of saying like,
Oh.
we know, everybody has comments that like they're not everybody is friend. You know the commentary. Not if the people aren't friends in the
So the
group.
writers know their BS. They just mess it up or they just mess us over on purpose. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's a
All
TV
right.
show, so they very much have to keep these characters together. So, in that sense, I think that every TV show is BS, but yes. But again, the All American writers are self aware of these, um, like tendencies that they have to have people be friends, to have people be in relationships together, and this and that. So anyway, it was just a way to poke at that, and exploring again like the changing relationships that everybody's having. So anyway, it all ended up working out, and Asher or Jamie was just like, "I want to be in a vortex too. I'm jealous."
Please, that was actually really cute.
No, it
Made
was.
me so adorable. Like
I
I
really
like
like
her.
Jamie actually.
I
What do you
do
think about
too.
Jamie?
I don't know why people don't like her.
Oh,
Jamie is
people don't like her?
adorable. Jamie, I will
Yeah.
protect Jamie.
Jamie
Well,
is
because she's
adorable.
associated with Asher.
Yeah, that man.
Asher, that man. But yeah,
That bad. He hasn't been that bad lately. I have to add that.
yeah.
Um,
I tolerated him more than Coop. That's for sure.
right.
Cause baby, honey, who child?
I'm dead.
I
Not even
cannot.
sentences, just words. Baby, honey. Ooh,
Just ex- exactly. Cause Coop, I can't. Let me not. Cause there's probably
you were
some
just
Coop
defending
troops
her.
here.
The range that you're bringing, it's giving. It's giving.
Thank you. Thank you.
um, So yes, so that was that. So I know you said that you think Jamie is cool. I know you said that you believed Coop. What were your thoughts on Patience and Layla, their awkwardness, and then eventually Layla being like, "Okay, my bad. Let's just enjoy."
Honestly, they should have resolved that morning. They didn't need to.
It was pretty
That was just
dragged.
like I felt like that was. Yeah, it was dragged.
I think they just needed something to transition them into whatever their next story is. Because
Wonder
I
what it
agree.
is.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. It seems like well, we'll get to it in prediction. We'll get to predictions, but that's
okay.
true. It seemed like something that could have been resolved earlier, but I'm glad it was resolved today, and they seem to be um back on a
They're
good
cool
path.
again. Just
Yeah,
because
they're
they're
cool
like, all
again.
right, let's slow down on the Albert name. All right, besties. Like what?
Right.
Oh god.
Right.
Okay.
But the thing is, and to go back to that point about the vortex, is that we have to realize that they spend almost every waking moment together. They live together. They're friends, or in the same friend group, and they work together. So like they see each other all the time. So I think it's bound to those little things are bound to like mount up and build up the small little annoyances.
Yeah, I agree. At some point, Liv gonna kick all of them out.
Listen, I love Live Down,
Yeah,
but
or
it is not her.
Liv can move in with Spencer. I don't know.
or that,
Liv
or
just needs
that.
to be away from
They're
all
basically moved in together already.
in different places.
But
They're
I mean,
chilling in
they
Liv's room, and then they're chilling in the beach house.
literally, but that's they just alternate. They're alternate. They're already moved in my mind. Um.
Oh my god. Okay, real quick. This is
Mhm.
something that's been on my mind. So, how do Spencer and Liv have the time? So, this is during college or classes, mind you. How do they go to the Baker house, to the beach house, then campus, then the cafe?
Oh, stop! Time
I'm
isn't a
like,
real
how do y'all
thing.
have the time?
Time is
What
not a real
about
thing on the
the
show.
snack breaks?
They have like
That whole
48.
Spencer.
They have 48-hour days on All American because they have way too much time. And LA traffic is crazy, so there's no way that they're making all of these like
How do they
trips
get to so many places
in one day.
and they
Yeah,
have the time to talk? I'm like, hey, don't y'all got classes? Don't you have to study?
right.
But it's
So
all American. You don't
yeah.
think about that.
So shifting into that, it was pretty much again like we learned sort of no new information, but it was a cute little secondary storyline that all of these characters had. Really enjoyed. I thought the
Yeah.
Slosson's Cafe watch party scene was hilarious, and I want to see more of it because I don't know, I just like to see them all together. And what else?
Like
What else?
that
What
scene
else?
too.
Oh yeah, Sky was flirting with Coop at the end.
She was. Ugh.
Funny.
Here
Billy
we
was
go
being funny
again.
too. We don't.
Why can't it just be Patience finding a new boo? Why does it have to be Coop? Just because she's the main character? Bye. I'm
Listen, I
done.
agree. I
They
agree.
done the,
I want them. I,
they
I
done
want
this
them
in
to do
season
more with
2.
Patience. We still don't know where she's going to college, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh my god, wait, you're right. I forgot that she is even in school. I thought she was like taking a gap year because of music.
No, no. So it'll be interesting. I hope that I say this every single week, but I'm gonna say it again. I hope that we find out more about Patience and what she has
We
going
won't.
on. Let me live. Let me hope. Let me dream.
I hope so, but alright. Yes, you can dream, girl. Dream.
You can dream, girl, dream. But yeah, you've already started to mention this, but on the other sort of half of this show was the whole NIL story and all that encompasses that. And so before we get to Spencer and Olivia, Jordan, who we know has been getting along pretty well with the rest of the team, the rest of the Condors team, is getting really close with Wade. Wade gets this deal. He's the QB for Golden Angeles, but he gets this deal for private jets and to go on a private jet. So he invites Jordan. Wade doesn't show up to practice because he has this deal with the private jets. So Jordan ends up taking second team reps. He leaves a voicemail for Simone. He's really excited about going to Vegas, so he tells her that, but they've been missing each other's calls. Spencer basically warns him to watch out for Wade, but also, in my mind, was a little bit forceful in his warning. Like, I don't know. I just thought immediately when Spencer was saying it, I just think Jordan needs to learn his own lessons. And
Yeah,
it's his
I
life and he
think
needs
so
to make
too.
his own mistakes. And so Spencer, I was just like, just calm down and just say, I'll just watch out for that guy. I don't think Spencer needed to say like, oh, you're going about it the wrong way and like this and that. But I mean, that's their relationship. So
Yeah, I'm
what did you
like,
think
why
about
are
that?
you so angry? I'm like,
Right.
this is Spencer, calm down. You just left practice.
Right. Spencer, calm down.
Take
I
a
just
chill
thought of
pill.
Kanye, calm down. No, you ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers. You ain't been doing the education on this, Jordan. No, I know.
Jordan. Oh my god. But every time Spencer gets mad and he wants to, show his bass in his voice, he has to be angry Spencer.
Right. Right.
It's just a prom moment. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Right. Right. But be that as it may, Spencer and Jordan left on a sort of awkward note. Jordan ends up starting on the second string in the next game because Wade loses his spot because the coach benches him. Gets a little congratulatory. He
That's what
gets a
he
little.
gets.
It is what he gets. But he gets a little congratulatory voicemail from Simone. They're still missing each other, and then you know, basically, Jordan ends up doing well in this game that Spencer also does well on. Jordan throws the game-winning touchdown because he ended up actually having to play, and Wade disinvites him to Vegas. And Liv and Spencer eventually get him to come down to the party, the post party that was happening at the beach house. But what did you think about like
Sorry,
all
can
of
we go
that?
back? There's so many things.
I know, but like,
There's so many things I want to say.
what do
First
you
of
want
all,
to
that
say?
voicemail with Simone was quick. I don't know what it was, some editing thing. I don't know, but it felt sped up. Or maybe they just did quick filming since I don't know how they do it. Jeffrey was probably filming Homecoming at the time, and then maybe they just said, you know what, just do a voice recording thing on your phone and just do it.
I'm,
But
I'm sure it was in a
we digress.
studio, but yeah.
He uses a phone to record the voice. That is so funny. All right. So yeah, voicemail was cute. Okay, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember because I'm still not over Homecoming. Um,
Right.
so Jordan, um, you have a lot to learn, sir. It's the fact that your sister is becoming more mature than you. But
Hasn't that always been the
we
case? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's always been the case. But Jordan, you need to get it together, please. It's, I. It's so hard. It's so hard to like Jordan. It's so hard because he just. I know he doesn't mean by it. He just makes so many mistakes that doesn't go his way or that doesn't go well, and then he ends up being like, you know what? You're right. I should have never done this. I'm like, yeah. You didn't realize it during or before. I just want Jordan to, pick up on his mistakes and then he can just learn not to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he came around to understanding that Wade wasn't really his friend. But I think, like, as far as I think that's a really normal lesson for him to learn. Like, I don't think it was anything egregious like that he was doing. He just wanted to go to Vegas and party and cover for his friends, and so I think that, or who he assumed to be his friends, and so I think that was a good lesson for him to learn. But it's just like, pick your head up, Jordan. You got to play in a game. You got to throw the winning touchdown for the in college for the first time ever. You're at a new level as an athlete. So you didn't go to Vegas. Who cares? Like, that's how I saw that.
Yeah. Well, Jordan getting a winning touchdown over Spencer after we literally see Spencer for like 4 episodes working his butt off. But okay.
Sure.
At least Spencer knocked that player down. That was hot.
Yeah, yeah. And so getting to Spencer, he's getting more interested in NIL and building his brand. So he talks about it with Davida. He's, in the last episode, he came up to the coach and was just like, I want to be on special teams. So he's killing it in practice and gets to start on special teams as a gunner. In that very same game, he missed a tackle that led to basically a kickoff return touchdown. And so he was really disappointed in that. Jordan told him, despite their weirdness earlier, Jordan was just like, forget the play, go to the next one. But he was still down about it. And so the next time he has an opportunity, he basically gets a strip fumble, forces a fumble that eventually leads to the game-winning touchdown. And so he had a really good game, and talks about that with Davida, and Davida talks about basically building his brand eventually. So what did you think about that? But just the piece about him wanting to do the NIL stuff, and then him, actually coming back from a bad play and delivering that forced fumble.
I think it's a good like direction he's going. I think that Spencer is realizing that, his big change is like doing endorsements or getting brand deals so that he can be out there while still being himself at the same time. I think it's a good thing for him. It's, he's becoming more confident in his, like, how should I explain it?
Confident
He's
in his play.
more, yeah. Ever since he was allowed to be on the special team, which he did work hard for, and he ended up being benefited by winning a game. And now, since Davida mentioned that it was trending on the news or something like that, the instant smile on his face, I was like, oh yeah, I like this route. Spencer is actually being happy with the way his like name is out there.
Yeah, number two on like a major sports talk show. That's huge.
It is. And that, yeah. So I'm just happy.
Same
But
here.
yeah,
And
I'm not.
like you said, like he's worked for it, especially these past couple of weeks. You can definitely see the dedication in him putting his head down and really trying to carve his own path on a college team. And like you said, I think it was rewarded this time, and he led the team to
Yeah.
victory. And then
I'm just waiting for Davida. I'm just waiting for you. Let me talk about her.
I mean, here if we're here, basically here is that Olivia is still neck deep in trying to find this story and work out this story. She talks to Spencer about it. Again, we talked about that. They had a little mind. It wasn't even. They just had different perspectives on it. She was very much. It seemed like a anti NIL at first, and Spencer is pro NIL, and so they talked about it. And they had the little conversation where a couple $100, even if it's not the things that the top earners make, the top student athletes make, is a difference to a lot of people. And so Olivia admitted her privilege, but she sort of wasn't happy about it. Then she went to go talk to Billy, which, okay, Billy trying to be a dad all of a sudden, but okay, go off. But Liv
No.
talks to Billy, and he tells her this story about how this cat, as he says, oh my gosh, but this guy that he used to know, basically got a plane ticket to go to a family member's funeral, and so he became ineligible from that, and so that shifts her thinking on the angle for her NIL story, which, by the way, she was trying to pitch, and the journalist just wasn't hearing it. She was just like, "This isn't your angle," but Olivia was going with her gut and sort of trying to continue to figure out a way into this story.
Yeah, I
Back to
don't blame her.
Slauson's Cafe, after after she talks to Jamie and gets Jamie's perspective as an outsider, she was just like, "Oh, we are weird to like people who are outsiders to us and not necessarily in the friend group," and so that gives her a different idea of Davida, and so they do like you said, they have a do-over. And Olivia asked for Davida's perspective on the NIL story. And Davida tells her that it's about power, which, by the way, Spencer did try to recommend Davida early on. So anyway, Davida tells her it's about power and that players have the ultimate decision to make, and that whatever change happens, it's on them. Olivia works the story. She works the story. She sort of makes up with Spencer, congratulates him on the forced fumble. They have a cute, adorable, hot moment where they make out after the game.
The kiss montage.
The kiss montage. Also, I love just how quickly Olivia said, I think that you were right. I think, admitting admitting and trying to get through a disagreement quickly and saying, like, I think you're right, and just having that ability to say that is so huge. And That's why Olivia is my girl. I love her.
My
Love her
wife
so
for
much.
real. My wife.
Seriously. And so she, made up with Spencer. Which they were in a fight this episode, but it was sort of a longer conversation about just saying, like, I understand your perspective. And Spencer, too, was just like, and it was my bad for jumping to conclusions on your perspective, which is something that I feel like he's had to learn as well. And so they had a nice little moment.
Communication.
Communication for the win. Communication for the win.
No, even if they fight, they still have, like, a way to say, like, you know what? We're gonna be good again. We know it.
So what did you think about that? Here's your opportunity to talk about DeVito.
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 Okay,
no, because I've been seeing the names on Twitter. It's hilarious. Yeah. Oh God. Listen, I know the show is trying to convince me that DeVito is supposed to be this nice, caring and helpful person trying to benefit Spencer and probably live later on in the season. I don't know. But yeah, she's helping, I guess, but I just don't trust her. I literally said this earlier in the season. I said she's using Spencer for her own gain. Like she's using Spencer to boost herself since she mentioned that she was popular in the sports branding thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if she becomes Spencer's agent, this is not predictions. So if DeVita is Spencer's agent and she helps him with the brand deals and he makes money off of it, DeVita is most likely might, do something. But I don't know. I just don't trust her. Still.
Interesting. So it was that last moment where she was sticking around after Olivia invites her to the party.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was so scared. I was like, Liv, where are you? Where are you? DeVito was too close to Spencer.
It was giving me pause. It was giving me pauses and questions. I
literally thought they was gonna have an intimate moment in the bench.
No, Spencer. I knew Spencer wasn't gonna do anything, but it was just like I feel like someone said there's a reason that she's a girl, she's a woman athlete and not a male athlete, and so I think that's a point. Those are points to be made. And again, we'll get to that in predictions, but lastly, where was Olivia? She basically found a new angle for her article after Jordan mentions what happened to Wade, and that he was benched because he was basically attending something that he got through the NIL. So she presents that to her editor, and it looks like, in the past, Olivia has pitched ideas for articles, and then they've been assigned to other writers, but it looks like, she's gonna get the chance to write this one after finding this new angle with Wade. Wade Waters. That's such a interesting name. But yeah, and with that, we get to predictions like you were talking about. Thanks for listening to Film Study, an All-American podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode.